Good afternoon. Welcome to the forecast discussion from March 21st, 2014. It's currently 1:38 p.m. and we have some very nice weather conditions out there. Well, we're pretty much getting close to near normal temperatures with highs by this afternoon in the lower to mid 50s throughout the coastal plain and the urban areas of Philadelphia and New York City. Further north and west, look for high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s with a nice northwesterly wind at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, decreasing to 5 to 15 miles per hour by tonight. Temperatures by tomorrow morning will only fall into the lower to mid 30s, making for one of the warmer days we've seen in some time, but it's going to get even better by tomorrow with temperatures in the 60s along the coast and in many locations throughout the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, although we will be dodging a few showers. Now, on the latest radar, we can clearly see we have a few isolated weak showers moving through the region via a few disturbances. Nothing significant in nature, no heavy precipitation is expected at all. On the latest infrared satellite picture, you could see very nicely high pressure is in control. However, we have a series of cold fronts and disturbances that will be moving through the region this weekend that will keep the threat for scattered showers in the forecast. So on Saturday, ahead of these cold fronts, temperatures are going to warm up into the upper 50s over the interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. There is even some model guidance that's suggesting upper 60s to lower 70s around the Delmarva Peninsula and over southwestern New Jersey. That might be a little bit aggressive, but if we get a little bit of downsloping winds off the Appalachians, it's possible, but I'm not expecting it at this time. This cold front will move through tomorrow evening, but ahead of it, look for widely scattered showers. I can't rule out an extremely isolated thunderstorm, but for the most part, we're just dealing with passing showers. Many locations will see no precipitation at all, just a scattered cloud day, a few clouds moving through, nothing significant to really worry about. Then this secondary cold front moves through on Sunday with additional showers and cooler temperatures, with temperatures for highs only in the lower to mid 40s. So your best day clearly is tomorrow with warm temperatures. And yeah, you might have to dodge a shower or two, but it's not the end of the world. Overall, a very nice weekend is on the way. However, we do have a storm that could be brewing for next week. This is the water vapor satellite picture. Now, you all know how much I love using this water vapor satellite because it kind of gives you an idea of the whole pattern as a whole. The key to forecasting is to look at the pattern and then deduce from what you're seeing with the observations what's more likely in the model guidance solution. To me, when I'm looking at this pattern is a progressive pattern. Now, progressive patterns can produce a lot of snow if you have a situation where you have a polar vortex like we did this year lock in over southeast Canada. You have the cold air in place, you have these disturbances just undercutting that cold air, and you get a lot of snow. That's pretty much what happened this year. But when you're forecasting for a nor'easter, it's a different dynamic. Okay, you have to look for some key attributes to the pattern. For example, you really don't want upper level lows in the Gulf of Alaska because that tends to knock down the ridge over the west coast, kind of like what we're seeing now. You also want to see a very strong upper level low lock in around 50 north and 50 west. This is what we call in the meteorology world the 50-50 low. This low is important because it locks into cold air, locks in high pressure over the St. Lawrence River Valley, which is right here, and also slows down the storm to allow enough phasing. Otherwise, you end up with a very strong yet very fast-moving progressive storm, tracking east-northeast or due east, depending on the pattern overall. So when we look at this pattern, you have to ask yourself, is it a pattern that supports a slow-moving, intense, bombing out storm along the East Coast? And right now, based on the data I have in front of me and based on the observations I have in front of me, it does not. It supports a very strong storm developing over the coastal waters In New England, you better watch this storm. It's going to be a problem for you. But I think for the northern mid-Atlantic, this is a glancing blow or even possibly a miss based on this pattern. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the GFS model guidance, and I'm going to show you the newest Canadian model guidance to kind of show you the other side, the more extreme stormy side, which actually has trended a little bit further east as of the 12Z guidance. So here's the latest model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website using the GFS model guidance. Europeans coming out around 2 o'clock or so. Now, for tonight, again, sky cloud cover, temperatures falling into the lower to mid 30s. Overall, not bad. For Saturday and Sunday, we have a series of cold fronts moving through the region with scattered showers. Could be a few snowflakes mixed in there and some higher terrain, but overall, not that bad. Look for temperatures on Saturday in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the interior, lower to mid 60s in urban locations and along the coast. Again, a few locations could push into the upper 60s. On Sunday, with the colder air building in, low temperatures in the lower to mid 30s, high temperatures, unfortunately, in the lower to mid 40s. So if you have outdoor plans, better make them on Saturday for the warm conditions. However, if you're looking for dry conditions, Sunday afternoon will be your best bet with dry, cold air in place. On Monday, high pressure is in control with scattered cloud cover. Nice, broad, high pressure system. Polar high pressure system. Now take a look at this 500 millibar pattern. There is no upper level low over the Canadian Maritimes or to the east of Canadian Maritimes. We do have a ridge, but keep an eye on this ridge and watch what happens over the next 24 hours from Monday afternoon to Tuesday afternoon. On Monday, temperatures are in the lower to mid 20s for lows and mid to upper 30s for highs. Now, let's move to Tuesday afternoon and notice what happens to the ridge. It's getting pushed east and it's crushed. A little bit flatter because you have all this energy coming. Now, on the GFS guidance, what happens with this trough is that it tries to intensify, but it's getting kicked east. So it doesn't have time to pull this low pressure in and intensify it and pull it along the coast. Now, let's go take a look at the European model, the Canadian model guidance for about the same time period. I'm going to go to 78 hours, which is Monday afternoon, and push this along to Tuesday evening or Tuesday night. Same time period, again, this is the Canadian model guidance. Now look what happens here. It comes about this solution by making this trough deeper. It's still knocking down this ridge. We still don't have blocking in the Atlantic. But what it's trying to do is that it tries to phase all the disturbances into one powerful storm a lot faster. And that's what causes the storm to track a little bit closer to the coast because it's kind of like a magnet right towards the coastline, right towards the best lifting. So, the question you have to ask yourself, and what I'm asking myself, based on all the model guidance agreeing on this, and all the model guidance agreeing on the fact there's no blocking in the Atlantic to speak of, how fast and how realistic is it to have this phasing occur at just the right time? Because that's what you need. If the phasing is a little bit off in timing, this storm is much further east, like many of the ensemble model guidance are showing. So we need to wait a little bit. Let's not get ahead of ourselves for this storm. Have to watch it, have to monitor it. I'll tell you one thing with the Canadian model guidance, it's producing a lot of precipitation, but that really doesn't line up well with the 700 millibar forecast here. If I'm looking for heavy precipitation, I want at least the relative humidity to be around 90%. And this is around falling below 70% here along the coast during the heaviest precipitation period of this storm. Which, it kind of bears, should make you think, like, wait a minute, you're having a heavy precipitation set up over Long Island and you're struggling to get to 70% humidity at 700 millibars. This is where your cloud cover is. What you want is this dark green that's out here to be right along the coast here. And that's like, wow, heavy precipitation, the atmosphere is saturated. You're not seeing that in this model guidance, which should make you question this solution, heavy precipitation along the coast. The idea of very heavy precipitation remaining off the coast is a little bit more valid and a little bit more realistic compared to other Canadian model guidance that we've seen out there. And so, like I said, you see this heavy batch of precipitation moving towards the Cape and towards southeastern New England, but you're not seeing that corresponding situation out here at 700 millibars, which should be a warning sign for you if you're diving into and buying this solution. So again, the question is, when does the phasing happen and does it happen fast enough? In my opinion, right now, the way I see it, I would lean more towards this being a focus more towards the east, towards eastern New England, clipping Long Island, clipping portions of Connecticut. You get minor impacts along the coast in the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area on Tuesday and Wednesday, with scattered rain and snow showers. Yes, it will be cold enough to have some snow showers mixed in. Another significant threat, even if the storm is further out into the Atlantic, will be the strong winds from the northeast and the north at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, increasing to 15 to 30 miles per hour. And of course, there will be the concern for some minor to possibly even moderate coastal flooding with this type of situation unfolding. Temperatures on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, look for lows in the lower to mid 20s, highs in the upper 30s to lower 40s. On Wednesday, look for early morning highs in the lower to mid 40s and lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s as that storm departs. High pressure will be in control for Thursday and Friday with warming conditions as we start to moderate. So Thursday, look for temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s for lows, upper 40s to lower 50s for highs with scattered cloud cover. Friday, scattered cloud cover as well, mid to upper 30s for lows, upper 50s for highs. I wanted to pause to get a little more dramatic here. My point here is that we're going to be warming up and we're going to be transitioning into a rather nice zonal pattern once again. Whether it lasts or not, that's a different question. But at the very least, we will be warming up into a nice warm pattern. And even that is agreed upon by the Canadian model guidance. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, we're going to keep an eye on this storm. Again, the reasoning why I'm not so gung-ho on this storm is that I don't see the pattern to support it. If the phasing is perfect, yeah, it's definitely something we're going to have to watch. But having perfect phasing with storms like this, with a lot of key attributes missing, is awfully difficult. And more times than not, it ends up being further out in the Atlantic rather than right along the coast as far as the worst storm impacts. Well, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and LinkedIn. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.